The morning sun cast a golden glow upon the quiet grove. Birds murmured their songs, blending with the rustle of leaves. The Buddha sat beneath a towering banyan tree, eyes half closed in serene contemplation. His disciples formed a quiet circle around him. "You come seeking wisdom," the Buddha spoke gently. "Yet wisdom is not found in seeking, but in being fully present." The disciples listened, their breaths steady, the morning air cool against their skin. Silence filled the space between his words. "Sit with your breath," the Buddha continued. "Let it rise and fall. Do not shape it, let it be as it is." One disciple shifted uneasily, his mind filled with distractions. His thoughts raced like a river swollen after heavy rain. "Buddha, my mind does not sit still," he confessed. "Thoughts rush in, pulling me away from the breath." The Buddha nodded, his gaze soft. "Does the sky resist the wind? Does the river fight the current?" The disciple lowered his eyes, pondering the words. The murmuring wind played against his skin, carrying his unease away. "To be still is not to silence thoughts," the Buddha said. "It is to observe them without grasping, without aversion." Another disciple, older and wise, raised his voice. "Master, how can one see without being entangled in the seeing?" The Buddha reached down and picked a single lotus from the pond. He held it before them, its petals perfect in form. "This flower arises from the mud," he said, "yet it is untouched by the filth that surrounds it." "The mind can be like the lotus," he continued, "rooted in the world yet unstained by it." The disciples watched in reverence as the Buddha placed the lotus back upon the water. It floated gently without resistance. "To breathe is to walk the path," the Buddha said. "Each breath carries the weight of the present moment." A distant bell rang from the temple, its tone deep, carrying the weight of countless teachings across the valley. The Buddha motioned to the disciples. "Now, close your eyes and listen, not just to the sound, but to the space around it." They obeyed, their minds turning inward. The bell ceased, but its presence lingered in the quiet after it faded. "Sound arises and disappears," the Buddha said. "So too do thoughts. They come, they go. You are not their master." A small child wandered into the grove, gazing curiously at the gathering. The Buddha smiled warmly at the child. "See how the child watches without judgment," the Buddha said. "His mind is not heavy with past nor anxious of future." "We must learn from the child," he continued, "to see without attachment, to listen without shaping what we hear." The child laughed, chasing after a butterfly. The disciples watched, their hearts softened by the simplicity of the moment. "You wish to learn the way," the Buddha said, "but the way is not learned. It is lived with each breath." The sun climbed higher, filtering through the thick branches. Shadows danced upon the ground, alive with shifting light. The Buddha lifted his hand, palm facing upward. "If you wish to hold peace, do not grasp too tightly. The tighter you hold, the more it slips from your fingers," he said. "Peace must rest gently in your palm." The disciples sat in contemplation. The world around them pulsed with quiet movement, yet their hearts grew still. "This lesson is not for today alone," the Buddha said. "Carry it with you, wherever your feet may wander." One disciple bowed, touching his forehead to the earth. "Master, what is the final truth?" The Buddha smiled, the sun catching in his gentle eyes. "There is no final truth, only the endless unfolding of presence." A bird took flight, its wings spread wide against the sky. The disciples watched, their minds clear, their hearts light. The wind carried the scent of earth and lotus flowers through the grove. The Buddha remained seated, unmoved by time. The lesson had been given. The disciples rose, their steps steady, their minds filled with quiet understanding. The path stretched before them, endless and clear. The Buddha watched, his silence speaking the wisdom beyond words. Another day, another gathering beneath the ancient Bodhi tree. The morning air carried the scent of fresh earth and blooming jasmine. The Buddha sat in stillness, his robes folded neatly upon his crossed legs. His disciples formed a quiet circle around him. You strive for mastery, the Buddha began. Yet mastery is not in force, but in balance between strength and softness. The disciples listened, their breaths steady, their minds eager for wisdom. A gentle wind stirred the leaves above them. Consider the river, the Buddha continued. It carves stone with its patience, yet never fights against the flow. One disciple, young and strong, furrowed his brow. His training had made his body rigid, his mind tense. Master, I practice daily, he said. Yet my strength feels brittle, my discipline harsh. What am I missing? The Buddha motioned toward a tall tree swaying in the breeze. A rigid tree snaps in the storm, he said. Soft reeds bend with the wind, yet they do not break, the Buddha continued. Strength must walk with softness. The disciple watched the swaying branches, his breath deepening. His muscles held tension that had resisted peace for years. To hold firmness without harshness, the Buddha said, is to know balance. To let go without weakness is true mastery. A second disciple, older and weary, sighed deeply. Master, I have softened too much. I lack discipline in my practice. The Buddha nodded, picking up a stone from the ground. He placed it upon the palm of his hand. This stone does not yield, he said. Yet its weight is steady, its presence unwavering. Strength is not in hardness alone, he continued. It is in the ability to remain, without resistance or tension. The disciples pondered his words. The wind shifted, carrying the distant hum of temple bells across the valley. The Buddha stood, his posture neither stiff nor weak. Walk with me, he instructed, stepping forward in quiet grace. They followed, mirroring his movements, their steps measured, their breathing steady. The earth held them, firm yet forgiving. Feel the ground beneath your feet, the Buddha said. It supports without gripping. It gives without losing itself. They walked in silence, each step filled with deliberate presence. The path stretched before them, endless in possibility. The Buddha stopped, lifting his hand. Balance is not found in extremes, he said. It is in the meeting of opposites. One disciple lifted a single grain of rice. Is balance found even in the smallest things? The Buddha smiled. The weight of a mountain exists in the weight of a grain. To see one is to see the whole. A bird landed near them, pecking gently at the earth. The disciples watched its movements, light yet purposeful. The bird does not force its flight, the Buddha said. It moves with the wind, not against it. The disciples understood, feeling the wisdom settle within their hearts. Their breath slowed, their bodies relaxed into the moment. You seek peace, the Buddha said. Yet peace is not found in effort. It is in allowing the present to be. The sun rose higher, casting golden light upon their faces. The Bodhi tree stood unmoving, its roots deep in the earth. This lesson is not for today alone, the Buddha said. Carry it with you, wherever your path may lead. The disciples bowed, their minds filled with quiet understanding. The Buddha remained, his presence radiating the truth of balance. The wind moved through the trees, carrying the wisdom beyond words. Another day, another gathering beneath the golden sky. The disciples sat in quiet anticipation, their minds open to the morning's lesson. The Buddha rested beneath a blossoming tree, his posture calm, his breath even. His presence filled the space with quiet understanding. You seek liberation, the Buddha said. Yet liberation is not in escaping, but in embracing each moment without resistance. The disciples listened, their bodies relaxed, their hearts eager for wisdom. Birds murmured their songs, blending with the wind. True freedom, the Buddha continued, is knowing you are neither the waves nor the wind, but the ocean beneath them. One disciple raised his hand. Master, the mind clings to fear. to doubt. How does one walk free from such burdens? The Buddha picked up a single lotus and held it before them. This flower rises from the mud, yet remains untouched. The world is filled with suffering, he said, yet your heart need not carry its weight. Presence is the key. Another disciple, worn by hardship, bowed his head. Master, how do we remain present when pain fills our path? The Buddha reached for a handful of earth, letting it fall between his fingers. Pain is like this soil. It passes. The ground beneath us, he continued, is not disturbed by the dust that settles upon it. Be like the earth. The disciples contemplated his words. The wind moved through the trees, carrying the scent of wild blossoms through the valley. You wish to free the mind, the Buddha said, yet the mind must not be forced into silence. He motioned to the sky above them. See the clouds drifting. They form, they vanish. They do not fight their passing. One disciple, young and restless, shook his head. Master, I try to let go, but my thoughts return like waves. The Buddha smiled, pointing to the river beyond the grove. The water moves, yet never clings. It flows as it is. The key, he said, is not in stopping thought but in allowing thought to move without grasping. A small child wandered into the gathering, watching the disciples with innocent curiosity. The Buddha smiled, motioning to the child. This child carries no burden of past or future, he said. His mind rests only in this moment. The disciples observed the child, laughter bright in his eyes, his presence light as the wind. We must learn from the child, the Buddha said, to see, to listen, to be without judgment. The sun climbed higher, spilling golden light across the gathering. Shadows stretched, shifting as the morning grew. The Buddha lifted his hand. Liberation is not in seeking, he said. It is in knowing there is nothing to seek. A disciple bowed, touching his forehead to the earth. Master, what is the final lesson? The Buddha breathed deeply, his voice calm. There is no final lesson, only the unfolding of truth in each breath. The disciples rose, their steps steady, their hearts light with understanding. The Buddha watched, unmoved by time. The wind carried the wisdom beyond words, stretching across the valley, endless as the path before them. Buddha spoke, his voice steady. Consider the mango tree, Buddha said, pointing to its lush canopy. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.